Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Butler.
And I'm Mike Field.
And welcome to Forgotten Cinema Lead Up. Each episode, we highlight a film from a popular series and follow it all the way to the most recent release. We'll discuss what we love about the movie, or perhaps don't love about it, but we'll always recommend you revisit it, even the not-so-good ones. Like Roadhouse. Let's get into it!
Whoa, come on, that's not
I
cool. That's not
cool.
cool.
Sorry, Roadhouse.
Cult classic, my friend. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I've just been, I'm a cooler at a bar as my side gig. So,
When they said cooler, I kept thinking of the movie The Cooler with William H. Macy. When I'm like, that's not what a cooler is.
It's a different cooler.
I know. I didn't realize they were so technical. I didn't realize that bouncers had such a, I don't know. Yeah. Yes. So this is part of our lead-up series. We're going to be doing Roadhouse. We're going to be doing Roadhouse, and then eventually we'll be doing the new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal. Butler and I are really excited about that film. I think, right? We're excited. I think we're excited, right?
I like Doug Liman, and it looked fun.
Even though he didn't want to show up to his premiere because it wasn't a theatrical release; it's a straight to Amazon Prime release. But then I read somewhere that the producers were like, "No, we want to go straight to Amazon Prime. We don't want to be a theatrical release." So I don't understand what's going on there.
So he has a different opinion than his producers.
Apparently, we cashed that check though, right? All right, so let's talk about Roadhouse. I think this is a first watch for Butler. He has never seen this film before. I have seen this film before. This is probably my second time like straight through again, but I've seen like clips of it before. So, anyways, all right, Roadhouse. Runtime of 114 minutes. It's rated R, of course. Production budget of $15 million to $17 million. It came out on your birthday, Butler. You were one, right?
I was two.
Yeah, you were two. I thought you were born in 88, 87. Interesting.
I'm an old man.
May 19th, 1989. Opening weekend, it did 5.9 million. Domestic 30, international 31, for a worldwide total of $61 million. Production, that's not bad for a $15 to $17 million movie. Well, I think it wasn't. We'll get into it. Production company Silver Pictures, and it was distributed by United Artists. It came out on the 19th of May. It won up against in a wide release, How I Got Into College. I don't remember. I don't even know what that movie is. and a limited release of Fright Night Part 2, Miracle Mile, and For Queen and Country. But it also went up against something on the 24th in a wide release, and we talked about this with Ghostbusters, the sequel. This is actually the third one. On the 24th of May, 1989, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which I actually saw at the second Showcase Orange when it was, the new one, not old Orange, but the new Orange that I actually ended up working at later on in my life. Oh, sad. These are movie theaters we're talking about. The week before, the 12th of May, which is actually my mother's birthday, you had a wide release of Happy Birthday 1989. You had a wide release of See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and you had a limited release of Earth Girls Are Easy, Night Visitor, and The Return of the Swamp Thing.
I've seen Return of the Swamp Thing and Earth Girls Are Easy.
You haven't seen See No Evil, Hear No Evil?
I know of it, but I don't know if I've seen it. So I probably haven't seen it.
Before I embarrass myself, let me make sure it's the movie I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor.
Oh, I don't know what movie I'm thinking of, but yes, I have seen that movie.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. Okay, so and then the week after, the 26th of May, which is the week after this film came out, you had a wide release of Pink Cadillac, which is Clint Eastwood film. I think he directed it too. So this film is directed by Rowdy Harrington. Ah, yes, Rowdy Harrington, who's done Gladiator, the 1992 Gladiator, not the one where the head is hardest part of the body with Cuba Gooding Jr. And Striking Distance. I think we've talked about Striking Distance before, and I want to put it on the main show, but I know it's not good. That's the thing. It's
on the big list.
It
I
is
think
okay.
I
It
put
is
it
on
on
the
the big
list
list. Yeah.
because it's not great, but it's
I
like
remember
it's
I've seen
such
it like
a.
twice, but I was way younger, so I don't think I was old enough to know if it was a bad movie or not.
It just makes me laugh because it's like riverboat cops in Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh. And it's like Bruce
Pittsburgh
Willis.
River Cops.
Yeah, it's just it makes me laugh. It's maybe we do need to do it because it's just there's so much going on in that film. But anyway,
Listen, even if you don't like it, you might find it's a forgotten gem.
of course it is. We can always make that case. This movie, the story of the screenplay for this was written by R. Lance Hill, who I guess now goes by David Lee Henry. So I don't know. He's done Out for Justice, classic Steven Seagal trying to be Brooklyn, and 8 Million Ways to Die. Screenplay was Hilary Henkin, who's nominated for an Oscar for Wag the Dog, and he did Romeo is Bleeding. Cinematographer was Dean Cundy, who's done who's nominated for an Oscar for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He's also done Jurassic Park. He's done a couple Star Wars series like The Mandalorian and Boba Fett. So he's pretty big Butler. He's doing Roadhouse, and from there he springboarded to all these movies. Composer was Michael Kamen, who's done Don Juan DeMarco, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Those are he was nominated for best songs in those movies for the Academy Awards. Edited by John F. Link and Frank J. Uriosty. Link has nominated for an Oscar for editing for Die Hard, which makes sense that Die Hard was nominated for an editing Oscar. I just never realized it was. And he also did Predator. These guys are actually a team because they both did Die Hard, but Uriosty has done Basic Instinct and RoboCop as well. Joel Silver is the producer of this film. He's done a lot of films, including The Matrix and The Nice Guys. I didn't know this. Aside from the other factoid that Joel Silver's not a great person, obviously, because if you know about Joel Silver, the film industry, you know that he's kind of on the outs right now for a lot of bad stuff that he did. He's the creator of Ultimate Frisbee. He is credited with being the creator of Ultimate Frisbee. Like, how random is that?
You know, in between shooting, I like to throw the frisbee around, and I needed a way to spruce it up.
I just okay, like weird. All right,
I do like Ultimate Frisbee.
So this film has Patrick Swayze in it. Butler, he plays Dalton. I mean, we can go through his movies, but I'm pretty sure people know what he's been in: Dirty Dancing, Ghost, Donnie Darko. Kelly Lynch plays Doc. That's not her name, but that's the name that's in the credit for her.
Calling her.
Yeah. She's in Drugstore Cowboy, Cocktail, and you might remember if you've listened to the show, the main show, you might remember from Virtuosity because we did that movie with Denzel Washington. Sam Elliott, who always looks old, is Wade Garrett. He actually was nominated for an Oscar for the 2018 A Star Is Born. He's also in The Big Lebowski and Tombstone. Ben Gazzara as Brad Wesley. He's obviously an older actor, but you might have seen him in The Spanish Prisoner, which is a movie we did. He was also in The Big Lebowski, and he's in the movie called The Killing of a Chinese Bookie, which you should check it out. It's really good. Marshall Teague as Jimmy, who is the Dalton's nemesis at the end of this film. He's in The Rock and Armageddon, but I doubt you're going to recognize who he is in there. Julia Michaels plays Denise, who's, I guess, Jimmy's girlfriend or Brad's girlfriend or some girl that kind of has a striptease in this movie that's really awkward and weird. And we'll get into that, but she's in this as well. She's in like Jason Goes to Hell and stuff like that. Then you had a couple people in there that they might look familiar to you. So did you catch Keith David in the movie, Butler?
Yeah,
Did you see him?
He's the bartender.
Yeah.
I guess
he had a bigger
whole scene
role.
cut. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bigger role, but yeah. But he's like in the background giving Dalton his coffee at one point. The guy that plays Red, who owns the Red Auto Parts store, Red West, that's his real name. He was a member of the Memphis Mafia. He was a close friend of Elvis, and he was his bodyguard. So the Memphis Mafia is the group of people that were around Elvis when he was coming up, and so he was like basically he was with the king of rock and roll. So I thought that was really interesting. If the old guy that rents Dalton the room looked familiar, he played Emmett. That's actually Edgar from Tremors, from the movie Tremors.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So if he looks familiar, that's where he's from.
Tremors would have been right around this time, right? The first one?
Tremors was 92, 91. It was 90s, early 90s, okay. 93. Yeah. I want to say it was early 90s because it was Kevin Bacon, but it was like it wasn't Kevin Bacon off of anything big. Like it was like, oh, Kevin Bacon's in this.
Gotcha.
And then and then you had obviously Jeff Healey, who is in the Jeff Healey Band. He plays Cody. He's the gentleman who's blind, but he can play the guitar really well. He's apparently he's the only band they get that plays this place, the Double Deuce at times. So
who the hell else would want to play the Double Deuce at the?
Well, they had some.
From the start of the.
Well, the beginning of the movie had a different band playing, and I had a note. Well, it wasn't called the Double Deuce.
The beginning band is the bar that he gets hired from.
Oh, right. What's the name of that bar again? Bandstand or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So my note for that is the lead singer of the band at Bandstand when Dalton gets knifed. He actually leaves that band. This is in real life. He leaves that band and goes to another band called Tito and Tarantula, which is the band that plays at the Titty Twister in From Dusk Till Dawn. I was like, that's some note right there. That's pretty awesome. Because From Dusk Till Dawn is 94? No, 97. 97?
97, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty good note. Okay. So, Butler, this was your first watch, and we are watching this film because we're going to obviously lead into the remake of Roadhouse, which is coming out when we're recording this in a couple months or a month and a half.
About a month, yeah.
And obviously you kind of let it slip that you don't like this film. And I'm not saying you have to like this film, but I think that this film is like, not that it's so bad that it's good, but it's entertaining. Let's put it that way, I think.
So I made the joke at the beginning, but I don't actually hate this film.
Okay, good.
I appreciate it for what it is. It's super 80s and schlocky. I was surprised because it's kind of like the first time I saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like, I hadn't seen it until I was in college, but people go, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. And when people tell you it's the funniest thing in the world, it's like you just get psyched up to like, all right, I'm prepared to laugh a mile. And then it's like, oh, no, this is really good. But because I got so hyped, it wasn't as funny as maybe I made it out to be in my head. It's a similar thing happened with Roadhouse, where I was expecting it, the stuff everybody talks about with it. Anyone my age has seen the Family Guy episode where Peter Griffin's just like, Roadhouse, and he kicks everything to solve all his problems. It's just like, that was absolutely what I was expecting. Just the schlockiest of schlock. And I was surprised by the fact that it wasn't the schlockiest film. Like, it actually had a plot, although it was a absolutely ridiculous plot.
This movie?
This movie, yeah. It's like, it wasn't as schlocky or as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
Why don't you break down the plot a little bit? Tell us how bad it is, or try to break down this plot.
Oh, man. All right. So,
bold face type, nothing. You don't have to get deep. Just
gotcha. So Dalton is a cooler, which I guess is kind of like the guy who runs a group of bouncers. He's the guy who, when someone has to fight, it's going to be him.
He's the head bouncer, yes.
He's the head bouncer, and he's really good, famously good at his job. So good, in fact, that Tillman...
That other bouncers miles away know about his...
bouncers and bartenders. Everyone knows how awesome he is. He gets hired at a ridiculous salary, $500 a night, which in 1989 is worth over $1,200 a night. He's going to get paid to do this, to go to right outside Memphis. Is that where they're going?
That's the Double Deuce.
Where the Double Deuce is. The Double Deuce is in some small town down south. And he's going to run this shady bar that I guess used to be nice, but now it's the worst rough and tumble place you can imagine.
It's in Jesper, right? Jasper. It's not a real place.
Right. And so he's got to run the Double Deuce and kind of improve it by
Jasper
bouncing and being security for not just the people in there, but also the employees as well, because there's a lot of bad apples in the bar as well. And while doing that, he fights against a wealthy landowner who's been sucking people dry on the town, kind of taking over the town, who's Brad Wesley. And Brad Wesley's goons, for seemingly no reason, keeps attacking Dalton and wants Dalton dead. It just escalates from there for like reasons that are beyond anyone. It's just super ridiculous from there. But the fixing up the Double Deuce stuff, which should be the main plot, is actually a competent film. And then the Brad Wesley stuff is like, yeah, but it needs to be more 80s action. So they like
Well,
shovel
yeah.
this extra plot in there that is kind of like, all right, but I think the movie would have been better just watching him be an awesome bouncer. I don't know. But that's
Well, you have
basically
to
the
have,
plot.
yeah,
And
you
then
have,
he turns
well
into
done.
Rambo at the end, and it devolves quickly from there.
I mean, he doesn't, yeah, I guess. I guess that's true. He does. It's not really, the fight scenes are better put together than his whole attack on the house at the end, because it's just like, it's just, I just don't like, they're like, oh my God, I'm ready for him. It's like, wait, you and 5 dudes, that's it. You're not even like, what do you like? I'm expecting like 28 guys camped out, but you guys are just like chilling there, like, oh, we're gonna get him. He's proven every time you've come after him, he's gotten away and he's taking care of business. And now you're just gonna like, you think you're just gonna do it again?
Well, I mean, he did almost get beat up with when they were robbing the liquor truck.
Yeah, but like that, his buddy Wade comes out and just like chills there while he's getting the crew. You need me to help you out there? It's like,
Hey,
what?
mijo. It looks like you're in a little bit of
God.
trouble, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I got this. I'm like, you got this? Okay, all right.
I'm going to get a beer then. Bye.
Yeah. So this film, we said it came out in March 1989. It was filmed in April of 88 to June of 88. So they had I think this movie got pushed, but maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm wrong there. So yeah, but it also has 5 award nominations, Butler, but they're Razzie Award nominations.
And didn't win a single one.
Which is good. I guess that's good to go. I guess that's good for them. I'm trying to figure out where we can start here, but I'm going to go with the production itself. I don't know if I just didn't pay attention, or I didn't realize that the Double Deuce and the Red Auto Parts store were close to each other. Were that close to each other? And I realized that obviously in the Red Auto Parts store, when the Red's Auto Parts store blows up and they all come out of the Double Deuce to see it, I'm like, they're that close? That doesn't make any sense. And I know that
that's weird.
They built them for the movie. So then I'm like, okay, so did they purposely build them close and now they're saying they're close, or did they build them close and they were just like, well, let's not pretend they're so close. Well, but they're close. Who cares? And like, I didn't get it, because the view from outside of Red Auto Parts is not the view. It's not a dirt road. It's like he parks on
a lot right outside of a main street.
Yeah. But when they show the Red's Auto Parts, it's on that dirt path, and it's on a big dirt patch.
Yeah, it's on a big dirt lot.
So we're just kind of pretend that we're not going to realize that, we're not going to recognize that. So that was a little like, okay.
No one's going to care. We're going to blow it up. They're going to
exactly.
be more. You're going to be more into the explosions.
I mean, this is your first watch, so I'm wondering.
Kill Wesley. You want to know my opinion? Just kill Wesley. That the whole movie, just it's a small town, and they're just letting this rich guy walk all over them. It's a small town down south. Kill him and cover it up. Kill him and like, that's my note every like time he does something douchey. It's just like, kill him and cover it up.
Mine in the viewing notes, I was like, this is 1989. I mean, I don't like this, like, rampant corruption is okay. Like, and then I started thinking about the movie that we did, Digstown, on the main show on Forgotten Cinema. And then I was like, okay, well, that's kind of similar, because he kind of runs that town, but he doesn't do it so overtly. He's sleazy and he's behind the scenes. The bad guy in Digstown. It's never so like, yeah, just drive that monster truck right through that dealership in front of 50 people. I don't care because I own this town. I'm like, that seems a little too excessive. Like, there's nobody is gonna like it. That seems like too much, over the top.
Absolutely. It's just, when he did that, that's like when I was like, all caps in my notes, just to kill him. It doesn't make sense. It's like, this is like, there's no like forensics, no hardcore forensics gonna happen there. You're just gonna bury the whole thing, which is what they do at the end anyway. But it's like, you let it get that far before you get to this point. And it's like, I don't understand what he does for the town. In any other movie, when you have a guy that's running this town, it's like, but at least he's protecting the town from somebody. Maybe it's the more of the mafia. Maybe he works for the mob, and you don't want that next guy coming in, or
Yeah.
But I beautified, like, look at like, I think of the first season of Reacher, right? That just
Mhm.
came out. That guy came in, and yeah, he's running this facility that's doing all this bad stuff, but he beautified the town. The town was down on a like down and out. But they don't really describe the town as down and out before Wesley came in, just that he came in, asked for 10% for his town committee thing, and just runs people out of town.
Well, he told you what he did. He brought a 7-Eleven there. He brought the mall. He's bringing a
There's a
J.C.
J.C.
Penney,
Penney.
Butler. There's a J.C. Penney coming to town. He's done that. So he's bringing Jasper, all that good stuff. Yeah.
But how? What does he do? I just
I
don't.
don't.
I don't know. He
well,
flies
he
his
takes it-
helicopter and scares horses.
He owns all the he clearly he owns all the liquor stores because he was stopping them from getting their liquor. So he clearly takes a piece. He takes a piece of all the Double Deuce and all that stuff. He hires people there. Like he hires his nephew there who's stealing from the Double Deuce. He's just a bad dude. He's just a bad dude.
guy.
But like, so since we're talking about the bad guy, I'm gonna stay on him a little bit, and then we'll get into Dalton because this is obviously a Swayze film. So we haven't even started with Swayze.
Sure.
But there's a whole subplot where Brad likes Doc. Doc, played by Kelly Lynch. Like he likes her. He was in like so much so that she had to leave town because he was getting really just creepy. Because this is obviously this guy has the power, he can do whatever he wants. So okay, fine. So when I hear that, I'm like, okay, so Doc is not really is kind of afraid of Brad. Like she, whatever happens. Okay.
Right.
Let's go back to the monster truck, which is basically Bigfoot not repainted. The Bigfoot truck, I think it's Bigfoot number 7, drives over the dealership, and then there's a scene where Doc just walks up to Brad and is like, really, like, just starts talking to him. Like,
what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Yeah,
just like okay, so now she's fine, but flash back to when she goes to Dalton's apartment, which is above a barn across a giant lake, and you see Brad's mansion, and she opens the window and she looks out and looks at Brad's house, and you can see on her face she's like, oh god, like she's like, there's a concern there, but that goes blown out of the water because now she's just okay with talking to him in front of everybody, and like, okay, and he's like, you better keep control of your man. Like what like,
listen, she's a complicated lady. It's like, oh, Dalton killed somebody, so can't be with him. Disgusted, get away from me. Let's fade out. Now they're naked in a pool together at the end of the lake together.
Oh man, they were naked on top of that roof. They were getting it on. There's a couple of big sex scenes. I don't know exactly what's happening in the first sex scene when he's picking her up and he's like they start kissing, but then he's like doing like this, like he's like moving all slow, and he's like he's almost like he's like pushing something, and like it's almost like it was almost like a dance number, and I'm like, what is this?
All right, Swayze, maneuver her now. Oh, this is so hot. And
then he picks her up and then puts her against the clearly uncomfortable stone chimney, which in one of my notes she has to wear padding on her back during that scene because it hurt. Like, yeah, I'm like, that doesn't look like it's fun. Like, I know, like, I mean, when you're watching that, maybe in 1989 and you're watching that, you're like, oh my god, oh yeah, maybe you're like into that. But like when you watch it now and you're like, that looks just, when you're old, you're like, that just doesn't look comfortable at all. I don't think I could ever that cannot be a thing. Like, just,
it's 80s, like late 80s, early 90s. Sex scenes always had like the pickup and slamming against walls and stuff, like knock her out while you're throwing her around kind of sex scenes.
And how, okay, so I want to eventually get to Dalton, but I want to go on I want to talk about the goons a little bit, but I want to talk about the dudes that are Brad's goon squad. They're the worst. They're the worst. Like, earmarked. Like, how about they have a monster truck, okay, which I don't know why. I don't know why they're just driving around town with a monster truck, but okay.
Maybe his nephew just wanted a monster truck. He's like, fine,
but like, it's so like it's like over the top. Like, okay, you have a monster truck, but how about when they're staking out the double deuce, and they this is when the guys spot like Doc going with Dalton, and they're like,
Oh, and they're like, uh-oh.
yeah, but like they're in the monster truck. It's like, if you don't want to be seen, why are you in the biggest truck known to man? I mean, clearly he's gonna know it's you.
Were they stalking him? I just figured they were just at the double deuce and they just noticed at that point.
No, I don't think
Do
they
you
were
think they
allowed in.
do you think they were on a stakeout?
I think they were
'Cause
just
that's
chilling.
that
and
is
keeping
that's
an
ridiculous
eye out
then.
for things.
Yeah.
He won't see us up here. Won't? No, he won't see us up here.
We're
good.
too high up.
There's
He'll think
tons
we're
of
the
big-
other monster truck in town.
there's tons of monster trucks in town. Jasper's known for monster trucks. He's not going to know it's us. Yeah, I thought that was just like, I'm like, what? Okay. So, but let's talk about Dalton. Let's talk about Patrick Swayze in this film. He did this film. He turned down Predator 2. After this film, after he did this film, because he got the crap kicked out of him, he had to turn down Predator 2 and Tango and Cash, because he just couldn't. He had to he wanted something less taxing, but he couldn't recover from his injuries because he just got the what beat out of him.
Right, and
But
he had
anyhow,
knee issues that were stemming even
Right.
from Dirty Dancing before that. Yeah.
Right, he had to have fluid taken out of his knee during this film.
Broke a rib.
But he broke a rib. But yeah, he breaks a rib, and you can actually see the scene. He breaks a rib when he fights Jimmy by the water, which is
Yeah, the big final fight.
and because he hits him with a piece of wood that he didn't realize was real wood. He thought it was breakaway wood, and he breaks his ribs. So you can kind of see that in the scene. I think that's it. So then he opts to go take Ghost, which is obviously a better film to take. So that was good because Tango Cash is fun. Is another fun, entertaining film, but it's not great. But I mean, and I'd be curious. I mean, the Predator 2, I would be interested to see what he would have done in that. But
I don't remember what Danny Glover's name is in Predator 2. Was it for the Danny Glover role?
yeah, he was the lead. It was going to be the lead.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally would have been the lead.
I like Danny Glover better for Predator 2. Not to get too into Predator 2, but I kind of like that they deviated from a regular super action star from Arnold to really change it up. Not that
It's also about.
perfect, but
Well, I mean, I don't know. When you cast Danny Glover, maybe the Predator 2 script changed a little bit. So who knows? Who knows
That's
what?
true.
You know what I mean? But Ghost was the better option for him, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
he
had to make that transition anyways. He had to transition from action films or these type of films like Roadhouse or he did Next of Kin. Yeah, Next of Kin to be in something like this. So
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so I kept laughing every time I saw the double deuce sign because I was like, do you know what that means? Am I supposed to know that means double craps, like double poops? Like are we talking no one makes that joke back in the 80s? Like, is that not a thing in the 80s?
Listen, you take that name seriously.
What's funny is the guy that goes to get him, Kevin Teague, I think how you say his name, who runs the bar. It's tough because in everything else I've seen him in, he's a bad guy. Like he's like a jerk.
My note is so when is it revealed that he's the main bad guy?
Right, and he wasn't. He's like a good guy.
He's actually trying to make a bar better. Yeah, he's actually who he says he is.
Yeah, I mean, he does end up doing a bad thing at the end, but I guess that's okay because
I don't think it's a bad thing. That guy murdered and he was a bad guy.
But they just show up at the end with this. They're just out of nowhere. So we're talking about the end of the movie, and Dalton goes and takes care of the crew.
He commandos everybody, but you don't see it because
they
didn't want to do more fight scenes, I guess.
And they're hiding. He's hiding from Brad, and Brad walks past. He walks right past him.
Yep.
He's not hiding. He walks right past him, and then he pops up but whatever. He gets the best of him, which is ridiculous. That we've just seen Dalton beat the crap out of all these people with great ease, but he can't take this 68-year-old man or whatever.
Which is ridiculous because he calls Wade's character an old man. Oh, we just killed one old man. He was old. It's like, dude, you're 15 years older than Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And then he's about to get the best of Dalton, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the four people that represent the people of the town, like Emmett,
Red.
Some other random guy that's I guess the mayor show up with shotguns and just blow him away. And then like the heavy guy that falls, the polar bear falls on him, and you have that
Yep.
last line where he's like, "Polar bear hit me," or whatever it was.
Did
Polar
you see
bear fell
anything?
on me.
Polar bear
Yeah.
fell on me.
And they're all laughing. It's hilarious. There's a massacred man in front of you, but like it's just baffling. It's like
How about
like,
where they
and
put the and
what
they all
happened?
give Red their rifles. He walks like 3 feet to the
Yeah,
left.
where does he go?
On the floor. You'll never find these weapons, Sheriff.
Sheriff, these are my auto parts. I'm starting my own store.
I mean, this pile of rifles in this grizzly bear's hand. Oh shit, you found him.
Do you get to know enough about the Dalton character here? Like, do you
No, I think there
Like-
needs to be more.
like what do you know? Like, what do you know about Dalton? James, his first name is James.
James Dalton.
James
which you only
Dalton.
see
So
'cause of the
Dalton is his
medical-
last name. Yeah.
You only know that he has a philosophy degree that he did nothing with from New York University, which is like, okay, is that why he's so calm? Can we get more into that maybe? And you know that he eventually you find out that he keeps taking all these jobs and moves around because he's kind of running from his conscience because he murdered somebody in self-defense. So it's what we infer is that he was sleeping with a woman who turned out was married, although he didn't know. And that husband came, pulled a gun on Dalton, and he ripped his freaking throat out.
Throat rip.
And he was-
Which as soon as that happened in this movie, I'm just like, holy shit, MacGruber.
Yep. So then he's like, he feels bad about throat ripping. And then he has to do it
Dalton,
again.
Don't ever feel bad about throat ripping.
That's another line I love, which Sam Elliott says, which is like, when a man sticks a gun in your face, you can die or you can kill the motherfucker. Like, that's a great line. That's great. That's so deep. Thanks, Sam Elliott.
I mean, that's not my favorite line in the film. I mean,
Go
I've
ahead.
said it, but it's not
Said
pain
it
don't
before we
hurt.
recorded.
It's
Oh,
not
it's
pain
not?
don't hurt. No, it's not my favorite line in the movie. It's not even from Dalton. It's when Dalton's fighting Jimmy and Jimmy grabs him and he's like, "I used to fuck guys like you in prison." And I'm like, "What?"
You didn't even know the guy was in prison. He just says a line. Did you
Yeah,
read the
but
note about him taking his mom to the premiere?
Yeah,
That's my boy.
She
When
got all
screamed
proud of
out
that.
at the premiere.
Good for her. But like, how does if you're fighting somebody and it's like you're in a serious fight with somebody and then he says that to you, how do you not turn around and be like, "Wait, hold up, what? Can we just stop this fight for a second?
Time
What's happening
out.
here?"
Time out.
Yeah. What
Fuck the
are
guys
you
in-
saying?
What did you do in prison?
What's going on? It's so stupid. But
Yeah,
I
I
do
just-
love pain. I do love pain don't hurt. That makes no sense, Dalton.
Pain don't hurt, and then he gets the staple in him, and he's
Yeah.
just like,
Pain,
"Ooh."
oh, if pain don't hurt, Dalton, why are you wincing?
Yeah, come on, man.
baby?
I guess that she, oh man, I've been so bad with names. Kelly Lynch,
Doc?
when she spent a month in the ER to train for this movie.
Yeah,
Like, what are you
okay.
training for?
Yeah, Kelly, calm down.
Yeah. Do you know
This
what
ain't
movie
that.
this is?
Yeah, this ain't that kind of movie.
I did in the hospital for maybe 5 seconds, and I love that she learned to stitch wounds just for them to end up giving her a staple gun to staple his
yeah.
wound.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
just like,
too
that's so
bad.
pointless. The knife too. Like, I like the look of the wound when he goes to the hospital, but when in that fight at the Double Deuce when he first gets knifed, you can clearly see the blood on the end of the knife smeared the side of his shirt. And it's just like the lamest knife strike. I was just like, what is this? That was clearly like you wiped ketchup off from a butter knife on the side of this guy's shirt. The pain.
He has they kind of break down his Dalton's injuries in front, like his character's injuries, like 2 gunshot wounds, 4 stainless steel screws. I'm thinking to myself, why did stainless? Okay, he's got steel screws. 9 knife wounds, 31 broken bones. It's like, that's Dalton.
Hardcore. Maybe you should quit, Dalton. Maybe this isn't. Maybe you should retire. Maybe do something with your philosophy degree.
What's the thing with the cars? Like, he has a car that he, I guess, uses to travel around, and then when he gets to a place, he buys a car, and then he's just like, Is
So
that because like
he's got his travel to work car because he knows people are going to be douchebags and key
right?
his car
Okay,
so the bouncer,
yeah,
and he's
and,
got his driving on his days off car.
and then just gives the cars away. Just gives them away.
Yeah,
I take it.
that's one of my first thoughts. Like it doesn't work like that. You need to
You have
sign
to transfer
a
the
pink slip.
you transfer the deed over and make sure they're insured, right?
Yeah, that guy's getting pulled over in like a matter of months. Just like, sir, is this your car? No, buddy of mine just gave
Dalton.
me the keys. Threw it, man. Named
James
Dalton.
Dalton gave it to me.
Well, in this movie, the cops probably all know who he is too. They'd be like, "Oh shit, James! You mean the famous bouncer, the cooler, James Dalton? That's the one." Carry on, sir. He gave me a car 5 years ago as well.
James Dalton and Wade Garrett. Those are the two big time names because that's that's
Sam Elliott's
character. Yeah, Wade Garrett. Did you notice that or did you see the note that a lot of the characters' names are taken from Wild West personalities? Yeah, so Wade Garrett's like Pat Garrett, Brad Wesley, John Wesley Hardin, Doc Holliday. So that's where that comes from. If anyone likes that kind of stuff. I didn't realize that while we're talking about Doc that Annette Bening was cast as Doc. But and they replaced her because she, I guess, apparently, according to Lynch, didn't have chemistry with Swayze.
Here's my question to you then. Do you think Lynch has chemistry with Swayze?
No.
I think not at all.
Lynch just is there. And I was like, I guess young Mike, when he watched this, might have been like, ooh, sex scene. But like now Mike was just like, go away. This is so, I don't care about any of this. I just want Dalton to kick people. I just want him to beat people up. That's all I want to say.
I was really surprised about the amount of nudity in the movie.
Well, that's the other thing I want to talk about. The strip tease that Denise does.
Oh yeah, the note
makes no that note, but also in the movie itself makes no sense. Just
her character doesn't make any sense. She's just there to kind of be oversexed and kind of slutty for no reason.
Brad, maybe Wesley doesn't own the bar. He doesn't own the bar, but he walks in like he does, and he's like, man. But excuse me. But he's like, get up there and dance, and I'm like, and then she's wearing like 80s underwear. That's just God, stop. But talk about the note, because talk about the note about the actual actress.
So the note it's pretty rough. Julie Michaels, this was her first nude scene that she had ever done, so she was really nervous about it to begin with. And then the day before she was set to record it, her boyfriend commits suicide. So the producers and the filmmakers were like, listen, we'll delay it. We'll do it later. And she's like, no, even if I have to, work through tears and an emotional breakdown, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm still gonna do this scene. So it's just like,
okay.
And I was reading the notes while I'm watching the movie too. So I knew that scene was going to come up, or it was like coming up right as I was reading the note. And I was just like, it's really uncomfortable to watch this scene right now.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I can't believe they let her do it too. Like, you don't just say like, hey, no, we're not going to do it. We'll do this another time. We'll do this at the end of the show, whatever. Just, we're not doing this, but
time is money. But also story-wise, Dalton lets her do pretty much the whole striptease before he's like, all right, now it's time to go.
I don't get that.
He's in charge and not Wesley. You stop her before she gets that far.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get that. What are Dalton's rules of bouncing though, Butler? Do you know those?
Number 1, it's his way or the highway.
Nope.
That's not number 1?
Nope. Number
1, take it outside.
That's number 2. Number 1 is never underestimate your opponent. Expect the unexpected. 2 is take it outside. Never start anything inside the bar unless it's absolutely necessary, which apparently it is absolutely necessary for every single fight that Dalton has is inside the bar.
Well, but there's a note that says that he never started a fight in the bar.
No, I know.
Although he does start a fight in the bar because he starts a fight with Ninja Boy, and he's just like, go get him, boys. It's like, he's just swinging his pole around. He technically didn't start a fight with anybody yet, and you just want your guys to beat the shit out of him.
Oh, you're talking about when Jimmy's got the pool cue?
Jimmy's got the pool cue, yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately goes, all right, go kick his ass, guys. It's like he didn't do anything.
My note there was that my note was like, because that's when that's the striptease, and I'm like, my note is like, the strip dance I go is dumb. I go, wait, not as dumb
This
as
is
the
dumb.
pool cue dance, because he comes out and he does this like dance move, and I'm like, what is he doing? Is he fighting people? Is he just showing off? Or
Yeah, that's it. Like it reminded me of the scene from the Ninja Turtles movie, when the Foot Clan guy throws his nunchucks around at the Ninja Turtles to try to like impress them. I was like, but this is a movie for adults. It's just like I would be embarrassed and just have to walk out after I did that pool cue thing. Like no one's impressed. All right.
I didn't. It's almost as weird as Dalton's sweaty Tai Chi when he's just like doing his Tai Chi outside. And he's just like super sweaty and like,
Here we
dude,
go,
relax.
Patrick. You're doing Tai Chi, but we're gonna glycerin the hell out of. But he's only there's one shot where he's only got the oil on his back, like his sweat is only on his back. His front is dry as a bone, and then the camera pans around, and his back is super slimy looking. It's just like what?
Nice.
Ugh,
Pain don't hurt, Butler. Pain don't hurt.
pain
How
don't hurt.
how about there's a part what like when you see Bren Gazzara's character, Brad Wesley, in the movie at times, like when he's driving the car and like he's like driving off the side of the road a little bit, whatever it is.
Oh, it's yep.
Yeah. I my note is like, does he know what type of movie he's in, or is he just in like they're just like, yeah, this is what happened in the scene. I got it, guys. Don't worry, this is what I'm gonna do. Like there's a couple moments where I'm just like, does he realize what movie he's in, or is he just doing his own thing? I just
I don't know. His character is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think the movie would be probably less popular and schlocky, and it would probably have been forgotten had that subplot not been in there. But I think the movie would have been better if it was just about Dalton cleaning up the double deuce.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one thing I really like about the movie is the double deuce's slight improvements as the movie goes on. I really like how they incorporate that into the film as it goes.
Outside and inside. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Like the first thing you see it's absolutely a wreck. Next shot, it's a little cleaned up, and then the cage around the band is taken down.
I know. Well, this movie's considered it didn't do well at the box office, and one of the reasons why it didn't do well is because if you go back and watch the trailers or the marketing for the film, it makes it seem like it's like a lighter and comedic because they were trying to attract female moviegoers, because it's Swayze.
Right.
But then they get there, it's not that. It's not that type of movie at all. But it became a cult classic, and it's made, if you include home video, and I'm including from all the way from VHS to streaming, it's grossed $203 million. So the movie is a hit. It's just a hit later on. So I think and some of that is direct reflection of how it's marketed. That being said, everything we're talking about in terms of what's over the top and doesn't make sense is legit. It's a legit criticism. Yeah.
If you go into it thinking it's an action movie, it's still it's still an absolute mess.
There's a lot of fighting in this movie. Just a lot of fighting. I mean, it's all
of it's
just,
good
and
and
it's like
some of it's bad. It's so
yeah. No, I know. I know, but it's like 80s fighting, so it's choreographed, but it's not like overly choreographed. So it's just kind of like, hey, we're just throw some punches, okay? Which I don't mind that, because when it gets too choreographed, it's like, come on, like it's got to be messy.
It definitely works for the bar brawl aspect of it too. Like a lot of it's just brawling. So
they mess up that thing repeatedly.
They probably massacre 800 kneecaps in this film. Everything is a kneecap shot. Like I had a shot that's like all caps, like again with the kneecaps. Does anyone in this town walk straight?
No matter how big they are, Butler hit him right in the knee. How about in some of these fight scenes, I'm watching this movie and I hear music cues and I'm like, that sounds like Die Hard. That's like, is that Die Hard? And it was. He was recycling Die Hard music cues in this movie, came in. And I knew it.
My notes about the music is all over the place in this movie. Sometimes it's 80s synth. Sometimes it's actual like big orchestral scores. Sometimes it borrows from Die Hard. Sometimes it's obviously the rock music.
That's not rock. That's like country
jazz kind
folk
of thing.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. But it's whatever. It's fine. But it's just not my cup of tea.
It's all right. It's well done. The guy can really play the guitar.
Oh,
off the lap,
100%.
which is interesting. I think it's interesting the way he plays.
Well, it's because he's blind. That's how he plays. That's how he knows how to play.
There are other blind people that play guitar.
Oh,
you know,
yeah?
standing
Who?
straight. Yeah,
Tell me.
can't
Who?
think of the
Give me a name.
can't think of
Give
the
me a
name
name
right
now.
now. But yeah, I thought the final fight scene, even though it's ridiculous, between him and Jimmy is really well done. Between Dalton
It's
and
long.
Jimmy,
It's really long.
it's long. But I guess they didn't like each other when it started.
Yeah,
Swayze
the
and
beginning.
Marshall Teague didn't get along at all, and then their love for real stunts kind of bonded them, which is why they beat the shit out of each other in the final fight for real.
I think they were friends for all the way up until Swayze passed away. If
Yep.
I don't know if people know that or not, but yeah, Swayze passed away 15 years ago. Butler.
2009,
Yeah, we're old. But yeah, I don't know. Speaking of Patrick Swayze, and I told you I was going to do this, so you better be ready. I want you. You can include Roadhouse, but you got to give me your top 5 Swayze films.
Top 5 Swayze films. Well,
It doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be. It's your favorite, obviously. But what are your top 5? Come on, hit me with it.
All right. Well, first is definitely Ghost. I love Ghost.
Okay.
I think it's an amazing film.
And these are in no order. These are just random. You're just picking 5.
Well, Ghost is number one. But
okay. All right,
everything else would probably be in a random order. Point Break.
Okay.
Dirty Dancing, and then would it be Roadhouse now? No, it would probably be Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Okay.
It would probably have to be Red Dawn.
And then number 5.
That wasn't.
Are you including Roadhouse? That was 4.
Oh. Then yeah, I'll include Roadhouse. I think
tossing
Roadhouse
it in there. Just tossing it in there.
It's been a while since I've seen some of the other action films he was in back in the day, like Steel Dawn and stuff like that. So
Steel Dawn. Okay, so you're putting Roadhouse as number 5.
I'm gonna put Roadhouse in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I do think he's good. He definitely. You couldn't put anybody else in there and have that movie work.
So you're just not gonna. You're not saying The Outsiders is good. He's in that.
I was never a fan of the film version of The Outsiders.
Really?
I like the book, but I don't like the film version of The Outsiders.
Interesting. And Next of Kin is not. I wouldn't even say that. So yeah. So no. But Next of Kin's another like action film. What about Tu Wong Fu? Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. We're packing on that.
Oh, I forgot he's in that. No,
Donnie Darko.
I hate Donnie Darko.
11-14. You hate Donnie Darko?
I hate Donnie Darko.
Interesting.
I would put Tu Wong Fu above Roadhouse.
Really? So there we go. We found Tu Wong Fu, number 5. Interesting. And that's pretty much it. No, Donnie, do you hate Donnie Darko?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You not a fan of Fatherhood?
I don't know that one.
He's like a deadbeat dad, and like he has to watch his 2 kids or something like that, and I don't know. It's like a kid's terrible film. All right, that's good.
Sounds great.
Top 5 Butler Swayze films. Nice.
Top 5 Swayzes.
Well done indeed. The tagline for this film was "The dancing's over, now it gets dirty." Do you guys get it?
I love when I read that tagline, I thought it was the best tagline. I was like, yes, that works. That works for the cheese.
Now, while we are doing this film, like we're doing this film and then we're doing the remake, we're not going to cover the sequel. But there is a sequel out to this film called Roadhouse 2, Last Call. Straight to DVD. Swayze was going to be in it, but he dropped out because of creative differences, or he realized it was going to be garbage.
Oh my dude! Like if you just look at the IMDb page photo of it.
And what they do is they kill Dalton off before like off screen, obviously, he's shot dead, and his son is the lead in this film. So that's what what I have heard is that it is not good, but I have not seen it. So, I'm just going off of other people's opinions.
I would just go off the poster for the film on their website is just on IMDb is ridiculous. It's got a 4.3 out of 10 though. I've seen films get way lower.
I think Fatherhood had 4.5, so I guess that's close.
It's not the worst.
Did you know Swayze insured his groins for $3 million?
They had to stop production at one point because he had a pain in there, and then they went to the doctor and he found out he was just wearing 2 pairs of underwear.
How do you not know that? Yeah, like that.
Oh,
that
oops. Put on
actors.
2 tighty whities.
So dumb. Come on.
It's like pulling real hard in there, man. I just don't know if I could do it.
I gotta cash in my claim.
3 mil. So
So Roger Ebert says that, quote, Roadhouse exists right on the edge between the good bad movie and the merely bad. I hesitate to recommend it because so much depends on the ironic vision of the viewer. This is not a good movie, but viewed in the right frame of mind, it is not a boring one either. Oh, Ebert, you old dog, you salty SOB. I understand why this movie is getting a remake because we just said it's a cult classic. It's wildly popular. Sam Elliott oozes sexual charisma in this film, so they're going to try to bottle that up. I don't know who's playing his character in the original.
No, in the
I know
remake,
in the remake. Yeah, I have no idea. But so it makes sense why they're rebooting this or remaking this. Will it be as like, I feel like this is the type of film that it's not trying to be like it is, but like like the way we're talking about it, it's not trying for this,
right?
But and that's why it works. I think like if the remake tries to be this way, like it's trying for this like tongue in cheek or over the top, just ridiculous nature. Like the reason why I think I'm okay with this stuff is because everybody is just like is buying in this movie to what's happening here. They're all serious about it. If there's not that kind of level of seriousness in the remake, I don't think it'll work. Not that I know anything. I'm just saying. I think that's why even though we're kind of ranking on it a little bit, I think it still works because it's just everyone's just has bought in.
Absolutely. I just think that also the remake could work in terms of just the fact that you can still have action. Like I said, I thought the best parts were the Dalton and the club parts. Like that the Wesley part doesn't really work unless maybe you incorporate it more within the framework of the double deuce. Like at no point did Wesley want to buy the double deuce. That wasn't really his
I'm
thing.
sorry, but like I can't say that name without thinking like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, double deuce time. Like I can't think like that's what I'm gonna.
You better call it double deuce. Give the double deuce some respect.
Where's your father? He's double deucing in the bathroom. I just can't take the name of that bar seriously. Like, how about when Steve, who we haven't even talked about, gets fired for having sex with the girl in the break room, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna be my everyday regular Saturday night thing," and then he gets fired. He's like, "You're done." And then I'm thinking to myself, will she still be the Saturday night thing? Is she still gonna hang out with him, or?
Not without a job.
I mean, there's some, and some of the clothing that Dalton's wearing in this is. Oof,
oh man, he wears that Luke Skywalker white shirt that has no buttons.
Yeah, it's like a karate gi. It's like a karate gi as a shirt. I'm thinking, is that a real shirt, or like did Swayze was like, I'll just wear my gi and we'll just put that. And a karate gi is like obviously people who are practicing karate or at the dojo will wear
the white robe things that they wear.
Yeah, but it had no buttons.
He took home his outfits from the movie. That's I guess
in his contract.
A lot. Yeah, he likes the outfits that he wears.
Well, does he like that 80s suit he was wearing a couple times? That brown tan 80s suit? Yeah.
The chunky 80s thing? Absolutely.
Yeah.
With the pants.
Oh, sweet Lord. The double deuce. So I mean, I think we're wrapping up here, but like I still. Oh wait a minute! Before we wrap up, I wanted to bring this up because this blew my mind. So Doc's a doctor, obviously,
Right.
and she spends the day hanging out with Wade and Dalton. And they're just hanging out, drinking, right? So they're
Yeah.
drinking, and she's like, I gotta go. I gotta shift. My shift starts soon. And I'm like, wait, what? You're working today? You've
She
just
got
been
like
spending
like 4 hours. Yeah.
you've been day drinking all day with these guys, and you're going into you had a shift today. I'm like,
Day drinking. She was night drinking. It started at night and it ended in the morning.
I'm just like, I don't like. How is this okay? Oh Lord.
When you look into her operating room and you ask for God, she is God.
Doc, you stapled the wrong guy's leg. I'm sorry. I'm like 8 Michelobs in here. I just can't really focus. My back is super sore from chimney sex, and I'm just like really loaded on all these like Miller Lights. Do you got anything else to add, Butler, before we wrap it up?
Just mullets, man.
Oh, mullets are awesome.
80s
I don't
mullets.
think I can never grow one. Like, just like, I think that's against my nature to grow one. I just won't do it. But mullets are pretty badass. And throat rips. Who doesn't like throat rips? All right.
Oh, man. Classic.
So, go ahead, Mike.
Thanks for watching or listening to this episode, whichever one you're doing. Thank you for being a patron. We appreciate your support. Obviously, your support helps our community grow. And if you like Roadhouse, we'll be doing Roadhouse / remake / reboot or whatever it is. Doug Liman's Roadhouse toward the end. So get ready for that as well. You're probably aware we have the Ghostbusters series we're doing. We probably have some others that videos we're peppering in. So keep there. Spread the word about the patron. You know, the more people we have in our community, the more we get to talk movies with everybody. You know, more people that join the community, the more it actually becomes a community about people that love film. So, yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Keep on doing that. And we look forward to bringing you more movie talk.
And remember, pain don't hurt.